Hey, welcome to our weekly show. We call it Three Broke Guys Handicapping, where we review one of the top racing cars from around the United States. We will select a four-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a pick four ticket. Thank you for joining us. This week, we are headed back to Gulfstream Park. You know it's winter when we alternate between SoCal and South Florida, so week number 3 of the racing season finds us back in beautiful Hollandale, Florida. The pick four starts with race number 8 and finishes in race number 11. There's 2 stakes races in the pick four on Saturday. My name is Rich Sharp, and each week I'll be joined by my friends and racing analysts. Ray Torado, what's the temperature in Staten Island, New York?
Right now we get to 25 degrees. We're going to have some snow tomorrow. We had like an inch today, about 2 to 4 inches tomorrow. So it's winter time.
And each week, he's going to join us from his home in Temecula, California. It's not quite that cold, Joe. So how you doing from Temecula?
Doing well. I thought you were going to ask me the temperature. I was sitting on my phone trying to figure it out. It's probably in the mid-50s right now. But no, this is the first weekend in a while that we won't have any precipitation. So it would have been nice to be at Santa Anita today, but I guess we'll deal with Gulfstream. I'm sure it's fine.
All right, gentlemen. With 2016 in our rearview mirrors, we handicapped just shy of 40 weeks together last week. We handicapped all the great racing days at the nation's best racetracks. And as we set sail on, what I hope is a very successful 2017 campaign, I'd like to ask you both, which day are you most looking forward to handicapping this year? And Joe, you can go first.
Actually, I'm looking forward to I'm not sure. I guess it'd be the second Saturday in April when we each get to do our own track. Last year it was Santa Anita, Keeneland, and Santa Anita, Keeneland, and Aqueduct for the three-year-old stake races, the Wood Memorial, the Bluegrass, and the Santa Anita Derby, where we each got to do our own card, and they all have great cards on that day, multiple stakes races. So that was always fun.
All right, Mr. Torado, over to you. Which day are you looking forward to most this year?
I'm definitely looking forward to Del Mar, the Breeders' Cup, hopefully being there with you guys. That should be a blast. And also, I'm looking forward to hopefully spending 2 days at Saratoga back-to-back with an overnight stay in a hotel, and that would feel like racing vacation. So I hope to do that also.
Yeah, actually, Ray's got my day in there as well this time. I'm going to say it noses out the other day that I was going to mention. So, Joe, I've actually always had an affinity for the Big Cap Day, Big Cap Saturday as well, which I know sometimes we don't always get to go because of your anniversary, not together at least like that. But I've always enjoyed that day. But Ray's right. I'm actually looking forward most to Del Mar this year in particular because Mr. Torado is going to be there with us. We're going to have our own East Coast invader. So.
That was the easy answer. I had to take the hard way.
No, I like it.
I couldn't just make it an easy answer.
We were short of hitting some really big bucks, just a tiny bit short, but we did good.
All right. Last week was American Oaks Day at Santa Anita. The weather was cold and wet, and unfortunately, so was our handicapping. We needed a DQ in the finale simply to spare us from an offer. That dismal performance dropped us to 0 for 2 in the pick four on the young racing season, and it reduced our hit percentage for the year to 50%. And for those of you who are saying a hit percentage, what is that? Well, it's a very simple math, and I'll show it to you as the year progresses. But right now, with just 2 pick fours in it, there's 4 races in each of our sequences. You take 2 times 4. There's been 8 races so far this year, and the Brook guys have given you the winner in just half of those, so 50%. So we're just as good as any of the coins in your pocket. Time for a brief weather update from Hollandale Beach, Florida.
Great.
The forecast for Saturday calls for partly cloudy skies in the morning. They're going to give way to cloudy skies during the afternoon. It's a high of 82 degrees. Boy, do I wish I was in Hollandale, Florida this weekend. Winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour, and there is a 20% chance of rain. A total of 11 races. 4 stakes on tap for Saturday. For today, we are focused on the pick 4, beginning in race number 8 and concluding in race number 11. Gentlemen, the gates are locked and loaded. The outriders are clear, and the starter is ready to pop the gate. It's pick 4 post time. Race number 8. The approximate post time is 3:32 p.m. Eastern. The pick 4 is guaranteed. Is there a guarantee in this pick 4? I didn't see if there was a pick 4 guarantee for us.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, no.
All right, race number 8, maiden special weight, 46,000, going a mile and a 16th on the turf. Again, purse is $46,000, which includes $8,000 from the Florida Owners Awards. For maiden fillies, 3-year-olds only, 12 starters, and your morning line favorite at 2-1 is in post number 3. Bogulator for trainer Mark Henning and ridden by Paco Lopez. Joe, our amigo from Staten Island, tweeted us earlier this week pointing out yet another owner's title for Ken and Sarah, the Ramseys. Beware. Now, Redham Racing is not quite in that category, but Paul Redham, he's just about as good as we have out on the West Coast. And there he is sending Bogulator by Bodie Meister. What do you say?
This was a difficult race with a lot of first-time starters, which a lot of trainers don't excel at. First-time starters, especially going long on the grass, debuting that in that manner doesn't necessarily bode well. There are super trainers. There's at least one super trainer in this race who's actually human in this category. I actually went with my two top choices. Are both first-time starters, believe it or not. It's going against the grain. Generally, people say, okay, you want to have the experience. But I just did a little digging in Formulator, and I came up with two horses. I started with the number 5, Interrogation, for Christophe Clement. Joe Bravo rides. This horse is 4-1 in the morning line. The barn's been heating up. Clement won 2 races on the turf on the 4th of January at Gulfstream. He also has 25% over the last 30 days. Usually when I handicap, one of the things I like to do is try to find the hot trainers. And over the last 30 days, Clement's at 25%. He does well for this ownership group. He's 20% with Joe Bravo over the last 5 years, despite the fact that Joe Bravo has been having a pretty miserable meet. As of yesterday, he was 1 for 50. But yeah, it's pretty incredible for a jockey as good as Joe Bravo. Obviously, he's not in Jersey anymore. But with this move, when Clement starts, first-time starter going long on the turf, he's 17% with the 2.08 ROI, which is fantastic, considering that most trainers and I looked up one of the Chad Brown runners, and Chad Brown's only at about 12% with that move. So the fact that Clement is 17%. And 4-1 is a decent price on this horse. So he's one of my A picks. The other horse I did a little more digging. It was the 9, Go Forward, for Billy Mott. I'm not sure the jockey on this horse. In the PPs originally, it was somebody else. It was John Velasquez. The PPs that I pulled up yesterday actually had somebody named Lemaitre. Now, I don't know who exactly that is, and kind of scares me a little bit. The horse is 12-1 in the morning line, though, so you're going to get a decent price. And again, hot barn, 22% over the past 30 days. A good 5 furlong drill over the Payson Park turf. I like 5 furlong drills more than 4. Pretty much any horse can run 3. Some can run 4, and even less can run 5. So I was going with that drill. And this is a pedigree play for me. I looked up the Dam Meditation. And Meditation is the sire of 4 horses that I can mention. Go Around, who was 4 for 13 on the turf and won $257,000 on the turf. Go Between, who I know we've handicapped earlier this year, was 5 for 19 on the turf and won $1.1 million. Compromise, 3 for 11 on the turf for $104K. Media Kid, 4 for 15 on the turf, $247,000. So obviously Mott knows that this Dam spits out turf winners. So obviously he's not wasting time with a dirt start. And I know he doesn't necessarily do well first time overall in general. But I was really digging, and I thought that this might be a solid pedigree play. And again, at 12-1, I'd be willing to take a chance with that one. The other horse I want to mention is the 11. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Talake. I'm not sure. For Kieran McLaughlin and Elvis Trujillo is 15-1 in the morning line. I always look for Shadwell Stables homebreds. They're always dangerous. And the dam here, Habaya, I want to say is the name. She won the Grade 3 Miesk and was second in the Grade 3 Jessamine at Keeneland in her racing career. So obviously this horse has a little bit of turf history as well. But again, I just went 5, 9, 11. 5 and the 9 would be my A choices, and 11 Talaki would be a B choice for me. It's a difficult race. You can go very deep, and in order to stay alive, you probably will. So I'll hand it over to the Keno member of our group. Ray, what's going on? What do you think of this race?
You are absolutely right. This race is going to require a lot of numbers. Man, I got to tell you. We got to start here with number 2. Tapage is 8-1 for Chad Brown. Second time out. We're putting blinkers on the horse. Keeps Castellano, which is a good sign. And the workout seems to be getting better. And I'll take 8-1. And I think this horse might need it the 59 days to mature a little bit and come out with a better effort. I mean, he was like 10th, 9th, being like 7 lengths, 8 lengths. So we have to move a little bit forward here. Another long shot here, number 7, Dramatic Girl. Ships in from Woodbine. Trying to turf. I like the fact that he tracks Le Peru and Cassie is 17% shipper. Needs to improve and give this horse a long shot chance. The favorite Bogulator's 2-1, raced in Ford main specials, but actually been a little confusing on the surfaces here. He had a off the turf race. She had a sloppy racetrack, a yielding turf course. On her only firm turf course, she ran second by neck, so she was closing fast. So I'll give her a chance. 2-1. She's if you could get by this one, you're gonna have a good price on the other horses. There are a whole bunch of first-time stars. You mentioned Interrogation, Out of Kid Joy for Clement, and Inflexibility, the other Chad Brown, can't forget that horse. Joe Rosario aboard, first-time starter also. And but I'm not too crazy about the first is going long. Like they sometimes they have need to improve one time out. But if they're gonna be a price, you have to really look at them. Also, 12, a Rose for Lizzie, Grand Motion, had a first time out. He's about 15% first time out. Nick Jarez is good on the turf over there, 14%. And he's a local home jockey who knows the track. So I'll probably go 2-7, 2-7, and 3, and also mention like the 5 and the 6 and 12. So, Rich, is anybody left in this race? And we hit the off button. Just call it a day. Man, this is a tough one.
I agree with both of them. I thought it was a very tough race. And I just took a shot here with Tapperge, or Tapperge. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. It's a Gainesway stable.
Yeah.
So bred and owned at Gainesway stable. For those of you who are TVG fans, you see a lot of commercials for Gainesway stable out there. Ray touched on the fact that you've got Chad Brown and Javier Castellano, a tidy 29% together in that combination on 31 starts. So you've got a nice sample size. Chad Brown, everything he does in this category, from being away to second race to first-time blinkers, all good. Everything good. I'm still looking for my Chad Brown bobblehead doll, by the way. Anybody who knows where it is, I'd be much appreciated to get a tip on that. That first race, not crazy about it, obviously, but, a friend of mine who I was asking about what kind of New Year's resolutions he was going to have, he mentioned forgiveness, and I actually wrote it down. So I printed it out from that day that I was working on that. And so I'm going to think about forgiveness this year in 2017, and I can't think of a better way to start off than in the first race at Gulfstream Park. If I was going to back up Tapperge, because I am a chalk-eating weasel, I would go ahead and use Bogulator, with a nod to both of my colleagues out there who mentioned all the first-time starters and the fact of how difficult this race was, and that the ALL button certainly would have been available. There's a Godolphin Racing one that none of us even mentioned that's down here. But I just went 2 on top and backed up with Paul Redham's Bogulator. So I am coming back. All right, and so in that race, I went with the 2 on top, the 3 underneath. Ray has got the 2, the 3, and the 7 on top. He's got the 5, the 6, and the 12 underneath. And Joe has the 5 and the 9 on top with the 11 underneath. And we are off and running, and we are on to race number 9. This is the Ginger Brew Stakes. Going 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Purse is $100,000 for filly 3-year-olds only. The rail is at 24 feet. In the event that this race is taken off the turf, it will be run at 7 furlongs. 13 starters, and your morning line favorite is in post number 12. Oh boy, I hope I pronounced this correctly. Jeunesse Dory, trained by Mark Cassie and ridden by Julien Leparoux, comes in as your tepid 4-1 morning line favorite. Ray, it's January, it's 82 degrees, 13 starters, and the morning line favorite is 4-1. We must be in Florida. Who do you like in the
Yes.
Ginger Brew?
You know what? This whole sequence is pretty tough. I mean, there's really no, prohibitive favorites here, and it's like wide open. So this is a good betting sequence. If you got some cash, put the numbers down because you're gonna get a good payout. I'm gonna start here with an undefeated horse, Conquest Vidi, 5-1. She's 3 for 3 at Woodbine on the synthetics, and synthetics usually play close to turf for the horses. Looks like this is a talented horse. I think he's from Stronic Stable, Marcassi, stretched out a bit from 6 furlongs, sprinting 5.5. Trying first to turf for the first time. Jose Lascano has the mount, and he got 17% shipper stats. So I'll give this horse a chance at 5-1. I also like the horse right next to it, 5 Party Boat. Is the winner of the Wait a While minor stakes race, which is taken off the turf. But he's actually won 3 straight also. Rosario Riot stays on the board for Grand Motion. And also number 1, Lady Alexandra. 2 races off the turf, mud and slop. Now Dye tries to the turf. This horse actually was won the maiden race in nice fashion in the mud. Then the next race, I don't know, when they rushed him to the lead and just tired in the stake race. That was a pretty fast pace, 46-4. If you see, and for them to come home in 140 for the mile, they were crawling, so they were dead. So maybe Castellano will get back on board, rate the horse a little bit, and like the turf for Chad Brown. I do like number 8, Super Marina, 15-1. I see her 2 middle distance races. She won by open lengths. This is a tested for class horse, 3BG angle here, option claiming. Paco Lopez is aboard. Has a good late pace, the last race, 97, which is one of the highest in the race. So this horse might be coming running, and probably has the best distance, that she likes here. And they're clicking at 24%. So that's what I would go with the 4-5-1-8. Joe, Ginger Brew Stakes will probably stay on the turf due to the nice, hot, humid, no rain weather down there. So, we got to say.
It rains down there usually for about a 10 or 20 minute period every day.
Yeah. Every day. But not tomorrow.
I'm going to think about history and what happened to us on opening day at Santa Anita. We talked about, I'm assuming this was off air. We talked about possibly what we could have learned from that experience. And what we could have learned was that we all loved Conquest Enforcer in that last race. Well, not loved, but we all liked the horse, and we could have gone. We ended up going 4 deep, and it ended up costing us a chance to hit that pick 4 that paid $750. And if you go to Conquest Vivi, she came from the same Conquest stable dispersal sale, and they paid the new owners paid $480,000 for this horse. And that was one of the highest price horses in the sale. Horse is undefeated. Stronic Stables is the owner. But the other thing that I learned is Keen Victory versus Dam is the same is the same horse who sired Conquest Enforcer. And he looked pretty impressive on turf that day. So I was trying to make this as simple as possible. I think this is the spot that would be a single. If we wanted to add another horse, I would go along with Party Boat. And I want to try and learn from history. And especially if we're gonna go deep in that first leg, this is where I would say let's take a stand. Let's single this horse. I don't think you're gonna get 4-1 or 5-1. If you get 3, maybe 5-2, that would be fine. If you get a single home at 5-2, great. Not that this race can't be won by somebody else, but this is where I make my stand today. Conquest VV would be my single in this spot. So, Rich, I'm going to hand it off to you. Did you learn from the history from opening day at Santa Anita?
Yeah, you're right. That's
Well, here's my check mark. It's all the way down there. You guys have seen this now enough times to know that the check mark wasn't down there on Conquest VV as you're watching this. I'm on the other Mark Cassie, which unfortunately I went with I can't even pronounce this name. So the horse, again, this is the 3 BGA angle, right? One at Keeneland, going a mile on the turf, kind of drew away by lengths, has got Le Paru on this one. And so I only went with the 12, or I kind of ate the chalk here, is what I was thinking. And then I had the 4 and the 5 as the 2 underneath horses. So I did like Conquest VV a lot. You guys have already touched on all the other reasons, namely Mark Cassie, Jose Lescano, and 3 for 3, and Party Boat, having won 3 in a row, Grand Motion and Joe Rosario. So I did have the 12 in there, but I'm pretty sure I could be talked off that. So I've got the 12 with the 4 and the 5. Joe, if I am not mistaken, is standing strong just with the 4 and he'll put the 5 underneath, just in case there's a scratch or some kind of failure. All right. And I am going to go ahead and come on back to you guys. And I will tell you there that we ended up with Rich with the 12, with the 4 and 5 underneath. Ray has got the 4, the 5, the 1, and the 8. And Joe has just singled on the 4 with the 5 underneath. All righty, and we are off to race number 10. It's the Mucho Macho Man Stakes, going 1 mile on the main track. Purse is $100,000 for 3-year-olds only. 11 starters, and your morning line favorite at 7-2 is in post number 11. Hemsworth, trained by Thomas Elbertrani and ridden by Tyler Gaffalione. Joe, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the late Randy Savage. He was one of the best wrestlers to ever enter the squared circle. And, of course, the big guy himself, Mucho Macho Man. He won the Breeders' Cup Classic at Santa Anita in 2013. And he returned to the Santa Anita Handicap, the Big Cap, the following February, where you and I saw him hook up with Will Take Charge. And the eventual winner, Game On Dude. That same day on the undercard, we also saw a little horse named California Chrome, who seems to have done pretty well for himself. And we have the photo to prove it. It's what shows on the home tab of our YouTube channel page. So who do you like in the Mucho Macho Man Stakes?
To be honest, Rich, I was like, where's he going with Randy Savage? I was like, what are you talking about? Macho. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's right. Now I forget. Now I remember. As a wrestling fan, you think I would just make that connection.
Oh my God, he was one of my favorites. If not maybe my favorite wrestler of all time. Oh God, I love Randy Savage.
Ultimately met his demise. I went with the favorite here. It's hard to go past Hemsworth's Nashua. He's a Godolphin homebred, and the Nashua was his maiden breaking score. Second time Lasix today, but this is no gimme. He drew an outside post. Again, the Nashua is the best race that anybody in this field has run. But technically, I guess technically he's not really going for the first time against winners, but he's the first time as a winner going against winners. But the fact that he's a tepid 7-2 on the morning line favorite tells me that it's not necessarily a gimme. He's my top choice, though. But I wasn't really sure where to go other than that. So I only picked one other horse in this race, and that was the 9 Recruiting Ready. And you mentioned forgiveness, and I was willing to forgive the Buffalo Man Stakes at Gulfstream Park. And maybe I'm actually willing to forgive both of the last 2 spots. Basically, maybe it was the mud and the sloppy track that did the horse in.
That's true.
I'm not 100% sure. He was a beaten favorite at 3-5 last time out. He's been, other than that maiden win, he's been running against stakes horses, some graded stakes horses, as you can see. Not this time, 2 back in the Iroquois, Classic Empire, and the Bashford Manor. So he's been running against some pretty good ones. So unless Hemsworth absolutely runs off the screen, I think recruiting Ready has a chance at 6-1 to give another decent price in this spot because of the class angle alone. So that was basically it for me. I just went 11-9 in that order. It wasn't the most thrilling race for me, and you could probably go in a lot of different directions. but I'm trying to keep the budget small. So I just went 11-9. So now I pass the baton to you, Mr. Tirado. What do you think of this Mucho Macho Man stakes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually on your horses in reverse order. I do like recruiting really a lot. If you look, I mean, he was 1-2 against Classic Empire. He was 1-2, or actually 2-5, whatever you call it, against Ginevra in that Salto special. So
Mhm.
this horse has been bet. I mean, this horse. I mean, when he broke his bait, and they thought about a lot for this horse. So I'm on top, recruiting ready. I don't know what happened to my screen. Am I still there?
I can hear you.
I can.
Okay, I lost
Yeah,
my screen. I'll just keep talking. I also like the 11 Hemsworth, the favorite, like you said. He won a nice race in Nashua. He's actually one of the Golfers uncoupled entries. This is considered a class drop for him, and he'll be a pace factor. Just to mention on the B pick is number 3, Talk Logistics, 10-1. He had a good race at track prep for this, and he stretched out for the mile for this 3-year-old prep. So that's why we go 9-11 and underneath the 3. So, Rich is a Mucho Macho Man. This, I guess, you could probably consider this one of the preps of starting the 3-year-old campaign to
yeah, it really
the
is.
Triple Crown. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
I was tempted to try and see if I could get by Hemsworth. I wasn't as impressed maybe with the Nashville just because it only had the 4 entrants in there. And believe it or not, I was going to go with the option here of not, instead of splitting trainers, but not splitting owners. That Godolphin Racing maybe wouldn't put both their horses in there if they didn't think they both had a chance. So I actually like the other maiden that was in here, which is I believe it's pronounced Cavill, probably for the actor, James Cavill.
Your guess is as good as anybody's.
Yeah, exactly. So won a solid maiden race going a mile. Again, it was on the mud or it was washed off. I guess you'll sit there and say washed off the turf that day, but won by 5.5 lengths. Drew Clear has got John Velasquez, Kieran McLaughlin. They're 33% together. They're in a limited size sample. I know that. So I just didn't think I didn't want to split those, and I wanted to give at least a nod there to Pletcher's. Actually, we can call it Pletcher's Mule this time and not be insulting Todd Pletcher. Sonic Mule. And so that's Calumet Farms for Todd Pletcher and Javier Castellano. And you don't need to say anything more about those two. But I could not leave. In the end, I couldn't completely go against Hemsworth either. So I just only kind of left it with 2, I believe. And that's the 2 Godolphins. So if I'm not mistaken, I might be at, 6-11. On top, if you were going to give me another pick that I could have as a backup pick, I would probably take the 8 underneath. So I would probably take the Sonic Mule. 6-11 with 8 underneath for me. For Ray, I've got 9 with 11 with 3 underneath. And Joe, I've just got 11 and 9.
Sir.
All right. And here we go. Heading back for the finale. Race number 11, it's a maiden claiming event. They are going 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Purse is $23,000. It includes $3,000 for the Florida Owners Awards. For maiden fillies, 3-year-olds only, 12 starters, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 4. It's Royal Chapeau, trained by Edward Plisa Jr. and ridden by Carlos Hernandez. 4-1 on the morning line. Ray, finale, maiden, claiming, turf. Let's hit our first pick for 2017.
All right, I think we will. Let's do it. This is not a tough race. So, but I did narrow it down to 3. 2 horses I like on the inside. The number 1, she's a Prado, not ridden by Edgar Prado, but ridden by Tyler Gaffioli, who's a good jockey at the track. Made a run, but raced evenly in this first race. 4x14 looks a little, that you got trounced. But there were a few horses out there, it's like a there's the race is just wide open. Like they got a lot of gaps there. So this it was claimed by Michael Maker and dropping him in class for 5,000. So I give this horse a chance on the turf. Number two, Authentic Kitten. The long shot here, 15-1 with Nick Jarvis and Jane Sibeli. If you notice the running line of this horse, they run on the turf for 50,000, so he's dropping in half the price. But 11 by 5. I mean, first call, second call. This horse probably was like in a whole bunch of trouble, and maybe in the inside, whatever. Actually, I'm sorry, post 12. So who knows? I didn't really get a look at the race, but this horse looks like it didn't run so bad. So I mean, I'm willing to give the chance, like Joe says, the forgiveness. Jason Berry does sometimes pop out some good horses, blinkers on here, and I'm willing to give it a chance. Number two. And I'm going with the other Jason Belly too, number 8, on the 12th, Synchronizing. She claimed this horse and stepped up a little bit in class. This horse has a little bit of speed. Should be in the pace a little bit. And I like to switch to Lascano on this horse. So that's how I would go 1, 2, and 12. And that. All right, Joe. You guys say about this race? Not much here, but they're running for 25,000.
Actually, I'm all over the one here.
Okay.
She's a Prado. Yeah, I had not seen the stat, the one that Rich had pointed out that the combination was 5 for 11 at the meet and 82% in the money. But actually, I looked at it from a different perspective. It's the horse's turf debut. Maker claimed the horse, gave the horse a little time. I can forgive any debuting horse who debuts on the rail. They're in the gate generally first. They may be in the gate a long time. And generally, the rail isn't necessarily where you want to be sprinting anyway, at least post position wise. And again, I'm going to use the pedigree. Patio Prado, if you don't remember, for those who don't, he won the Grade 1 Secretariat, the Grade 2 Dixie, the Grade 2 Virginia Derby, and the Grade 2 Colonial Turf Club, all on the grass during his career. That's a good draw at the rail, going 2 turns. And even if the horse is claimed today, and they claim it for 25, people might say, oh, they lose in 5,000. Well, no, not if they win the race. If they win the race, they're still ahead of the game. So I'm taking a chance that this horse is going to be loaded today. Not that I want to make her a single, but I think she's the top pick in here for me, for sure. The other 2 horses I like show a little speed. I like the 8, Don't Talk Back. Luis Saez rides for Arias and at 10-1, and that's a good get for a small barn like that. Usually when you see a big name jock, and not that Saez is a big name, but he's got talent, and everybody knows he's got talent. He's ridden for some great barns in the past. And he's having a great meet so far, obviously 23 for 92, 25%. The horse is dropping slightly in class from 50,000. Solid drill on New Year's Eve. 3rd race off the layoff, 3rd in the cycle. And the horse has speed in a race where generally if there's horses with limited ability, if you get to the front end, they're going to have to come and get you. Generally, they're not going to be able to. So I like the 8 a little bit. And I like the 3 also, Princess Victoria. I'm not going to try and pronounce the trainer's name. Lane Luzzy, who's an Eclipse Award finalist for Apprentice Jockey, gets up 8-1. Again, speed on the turf in the debut last time out. Second time Lasik, second time Lane Luzzy. And this is a quick wheel back from December 26th. So that was only about 2 weeks ago. So I'm going with the speed angle, trying to avoid trouble in a big field with the 2 underneath horses. But I like the 1 being able to sit behind the speed early and just pounce on them late. But again, if trips happen, things happen. I'd rather have the speed horses in this event, considering the limited amount of talent that these horses have shown, at least so far. So 1 on top for me, 8 and 3 would be my backup choices. And I will hand it off to Rich. Rich, what did you think of the maiden claiming race in the finale? This is your baby, isn't it?
Yeah, John Asamakapoulos. That's the name of that trainer.
Oh my!
And on the
better you than me.
Yeah, and on the caveat of Joe's lead in there, that I will throw the little disclaimer in there of I do love maidens. I do love claiming. it's the bottom rank, something like that. I do have a tendency to be a little bit better on the dirt. So I am aware of my weakness on the turf, something like that. So, but yeah, this is where I kind of hang out at. And Joe already latched onto the horse that I liked. I'm trying to get back to him. It's interesting because I don't know Gulfstream Park as well. So folks who are watching this can sit there and say, yeah, that's right. Rich is the California guy. So Gulfstream is a little bit of a place like that. I don't know all of the trainers as well. So I wouldn't be as averse to going for a trainer who is, if I'm not mistaken, 0 for 10. Juan Arias, which is something that I don't normally do. Luis Saez is a good jockey. I was looking for the speed angle, so Joe caught onto that as well. I was thinking here on the turf, and I went back to over here. It's not necessarily a real powerful angle in this style race. You only see 6% going wire to wire. You're only seeing 39% going, gate to wire. And so, as you've seen me in the past like that, when I do something like that, then I'll always end up backing it up with, say, just the chalk. And in this case, it was, and now I can't even remember.
Was it the 4, Rich? Royal Chapeau, I think.
Is it Royal Chapeau? I believe it is.
I
Okay.
think that's what you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't.
Edward, Edward Plisa
Right.
Jr. So maiden claiming he's got a 23% win percentage. It's him and Carlos Hernandez again. And again, I'm not real familiar with Carlos Hernandez. So again, a jockey here from Gulfstream that I'm not real familiar with. But I'll stick with the top one. Was the Juan Arias horse. And again, not a real strong feeling on this one with a trainer who is 0 for 10 at this point in time. He does have a nice route to sprint, percentage of 25%. And again, Saya is aboard today, so we'll see how that works out. I've got the 8 on top there. Ray, you've got the 1, the 2, and the 12. Joe, you've got the 1, the 8, and the 3. And then underneath, Joe had me as well for the favorite Royal Chapeau.
Excuse me.
All right, coming back for you guys.
All right.
All right, and let me bring up our template, and we can go ahead and start working on our pick 4 ticket.
Cool. Who's that?
Songbird
Kind of
in
figured.
front.
She's been in front pretty much every step except for maybe 4 or 5 in that last race.
Yeah.
But she'll win an Eclipse Award. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah.
They actually mapped her schedule and they put it on what's his name? Somebody wrote an article about it and it was saw it on Twitter.
The question should be if she's unanimous or not, whether she'll win one.
For 3-year-old? Oh, for 3-year-old filly, I don't think there's any question.
No, yeah, Dream of Philly, yeah.
Who else would? I mean, honestly, if anybody voted for anybody else, I think they should be drug tested. If you've watched any of the races, I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm just trying. Who else could you possibly? Catherine Sophia? I mean, no. Kentucky Oaks winner, I guess, is the only because Somber didn't make it to the Kentucky Oaks. Anyway, that would be silly.
When's the first future bet?
Oh, you guys have your future bets.
I
No, I'm
have.
saying, no,
We've got a pair in.
Oh,
there gonna be some more
Yeah,
coming up.
the new pool. Yeah, the next pools.
Yeah, no pools. Yeah, no
no,
pools. Probably February, I think.
Probably maybe towards the end of the month. Are they running a 3-year-old?
I think all my horses been retired.
Are they going to run a 3-year-old race on the day of the Pegasus? I would assume. Maybe they would do it that weekend, but
Maybe.
I don't know.
That's usually like Fountain of Youth weekend, maybe the first week of February. Sometime.
Yeah, no. I don't know because I know they already had one last year.
I can't even find my horses now. They're probably
Practical
retired.
Practical Joke and Syndergaard. Who else you had? You had a third one. Excuse me. The
Oh,
Pletcher horse. Wish it was bet to 25.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Theory.
dude, don't feel bad. Think about this. When I was in Vegas last year for Super Bowl, I bet $10 on the Raiders to win the Super Bowl at 50-1. And until about 2 weeks ago, I was still, man, this could actually happen.
This might happen.
Now, I mean, I still have the ticket because as a Raider fan, we've been out of the playoffs for so long. Just getting back to the playoffs is good enough, but kind of that play kind of crushed me.
I know.
On not one level, but two levels, because not only did I lose the chance the Raiders winning the Super Bowl, which I've wanted, but to have a bet on it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to basically have that ticket turned into wallpaper.
Oh, I'll see you at the parade. I'll see you at the parade.
What parade?
Okay, here we go.
You better play. Your team better play their asses off just to get past Green Bay. Don't even worry about it. Dude,
I think the winner of Sunday's game is going to the Super Bowl.
You gonna have a parade if they win this game Sunday? Is that the plan?
I think the winner of that game will go to Super Bowl.
I don't know. They still got to beat Dallas.
Nah, Dallas nothing.
See if you can beat them 3 times in a row, you deserve it. But of course, that's if you get past Green Bay.
All right, gentlemen, can you see my screen?
I can see your screen, but I'm assuming that's an $18 ticket.
Yeah, that's not the $18 ticket. This is the mess one, I thought. So the one thing and Joe, I noticed you kind of put Conquest VV forward on there. So if we wanted to, we could. I wouldn't
put the 4 there. Yep.
Again, like I said, that was my. I mean, again, I don't want to be I'm not the judge and jury and executioner. I'm one of the judges, but.
Well, I had the 4 on top also.
Yeah, you did. But I mean, if we want to go deep again, if we want to go deep in race 8 or in the other races, we have to take a stand somewhere.
Yeah, well, that was $150 ticket that we had up there initially.
Okay, I wasn't figuring it out, but I was fairly certain it wasn't 18.
And this is a $30 ticket now. This takes it down to 30.
So 3. Well, okay, 5 by 1 by 3 by 4. Okay. I mean, I'm fine with this, but again, I don't want to be. I'm not the only one. As long as it's. What are you guys okay with just singling Conquest VV and going that way?
Yeah. The only other horse I would think would be the 5,
but the problem is that doubles your ticket.
That doubles the ticket, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's the problem.
So I mean, again, it's not like we couldn't do it, but
we could, and again, we could pare down in the other races if we need to as well. Let's see,
that's what makes this so difficult every week.
Let's see, in the first race, the 2 was on. Let's see, that's on the top line for me. The 2 was on the top line for Ray. Joe, you've got the 5 and the 9 on there, and then Ray, let's see, that's the 7 as well, the 3 as well. I think the 3 was underneath for me on that one, so that's the 2, 3, 5, 7, 9.
Yeah, I should keep that. That's good.
Okay, well, except
5.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Race 10.
6, 9, 11.
I went 9. I went 11, 9. Ray went 11. Ray went 9, 11.
And I think the 6 is
well,
me.
Actually, I had the 6 here too. I missed them. My notes. Okay, yeah, I had the 6 also. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah.
Okay.
And the last, the 1, 2, 8, 12. Yeah.
Oh, that was me. I have the 6. The 6 is Cavill or Cavill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
10-3.
I actually had him too. I actually missed him.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, except, yeah. I'm the only.
Too.
Yeah, I was the only.
He's my 3rd choice.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked him. So, yeah.
Yeah. The question is
I'm good. I would
30
take
or
a
60.
stand with the 4.
Yeah, I'm okay with the 4.
Yeah,
Like I
I'm
said,
good.
I like the other Cassie as well. I like Jeunesse Dory a little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit better with that. But
If that Rich, to be honest, if that horse had drawn
inside.
anywhere outside the 12 is a really tough spot. I mean, if the field scratches down to 8, then I can see if the horse was in post 8, maybe that may be a more difficult decision. But being that the horse drew post 12, going 2 turns, I was like, oh boy, that'd be for me. That was a tough pill to overcome, especially to take the favorite. Again, even though it's 4-1 favorite, taking the favorite from that outside box, and again, it could cost us. But I mean, like I said, that's to me, this is the Conquest Enforcer race all over again, and that's why I figured to me it was just let's take a stand here.
No, nice call. 2, 3, 5, 7, 9 with 4, with 6, 9, 11, with 1, 2, 8, 12.
1, 2, 8, 12.
2, 8, 12.
I mean, again, I know.
Let's see. In the finale, the 8.
Both Ray and I mentioned the 1. Rich and I were both on the 8.
On the 8, okay.
Now, who was Ray? Ray was the only one with the 2 and the 12, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got 1, 2, 12 as his top line.
Oh, okay.
Is that right, Ray? 1, 2, 12.
I mean, to me, 30 is reasonable. I mean, the only thing I would, the other suggestion I would make if we wanted to would be to take 1 out of race 11 if we wanted to add the 5 in race 9. But if we want to stay with this, I'm fine either way.
5 times 2, 10.
Take out race 11.
I would just say because basically 2 of us had the 1, 2 of us had the 8. Ray, you were the only one on the 2 and the 12. If we took one of those out in that race, it would be 3 by 3 by 5 by 2, which would be $45 ticket. And so basically we'd be doubling. So we would have a horse an extra horse in the 9th and 1 less in the 11th. But again, I can go either. I'm happy with the $30 ticket, and I'd be just as happy with the 45.
And you want the second horse in the 9th race to be Party Boat?
Well, he's the one. Yeah, he was the one that we all talked about. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ray, you want to pick between the 2 and the 12?
Or just we could just stay with the other ticket, eliminate the 5, and go with it as we had it.
Let's see.
I mean, I guess the question is, do you like the 5 in race 9 more than you like either the 2 or the 12 in race 11?
Yeah, actually, it's a good backup for us. I would probably take out the 12.
Okay.
But, wait, I'm sorry.
So it's 5 by 2, 10.
Yeah.
3 by 3 is 9, so that's 90. Yeah, 45. Okay.
Just because the post, the switch starts on the turn.
Just redoing the math.
Yeah, just remember when that race comes around, you bet the shit out of the 12, right? Pardon my French.
That's a rich. That's a rich. I eliminated the horse off my pick 4 ticket, so I'm going to bet it to win angle.
Don't worry, we're gonna have an all 12 double. Don't worry.
That was my take.
An all 12 double.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Like I said, another post 12 going 2 turns on, either on the turf or on the dirt.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
Not
and this one starts almost at the turn.
If you're getting a price, okay, but if you're not getting a price, not worth it. I've only seen Big Brown. I've only seen it once. He went from post 20 he went from post 20 in the Derby.
That looks better.
Okay. So we'll go $45. 2, 3, 5, 7, 9 with 4 and 5 with 6, 9 and 11 with 1, 2 and 8.
coming back.
Sounds good, boys.
Alrighty. And all right. So you guys saw it there, and Joe just called it out for you. So for those, if you didn't get down, the pick four for us this week is going to be 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, with 4, 5, with 6, 9, 11, with 1, 2, 8, and it's a total of $45 ticket. And good luck if you choose to play with us, and if you don't play with us, good luck as well. For those of you watching, if you enjoyed the show, we will be back next week because, again, the season is just getting started, and we really enjoy what we do here. So we're going to get together and take a look at another exciting card. Not sure exactly which one that's going to be just yet. Gentlemen, that's all the time we have for tonight. It's always a pleasure to handicap with the two of you. For Joe English and Ray Tirado, I'm Rich Sharp. Thank you for watching Three Broke Guys Handicapping. Good luck and good night.
Good night.
Good night.